Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good. It's good to see you. Here comes Laura.
Hello.
Hi,
Judy.
Laura.
How are you guys?
It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us today.
It's good to be here. I'm going to switch Wi-Fi's because I'm on the slow one. If I disconnect, I'll come back.
Okay. I get it.
Here?
Yep, we're still here.
Okay. That's cool. So how are you guys?
Good. How's everything with you?
Good. Busy.
Busy.
How about
Such as
you guys?
Yeah, such as it is, right?
Yeah. So
Busy's
tonight.
good. Busy's
Good,
better than bored.
It's true.
That's for sure.
It's true. Tonight we're going to Prism.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, when Anthony was in band.
Isn't that amazing?
His 9th and 10th grade years, we'd go to Prism is the concert, Judy, of the high school band. That's what they call their Christmas concert and holiday concert, but it's much more than Christmas songs. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
They feature a lot of the musicians, a lot of the sections, and some kids just go up on the piano. Some of the sousaphone players, tuba players do solos. I mean, it's just kind of a cool showcase. So what's Caitlin doing? Is she doing a solo or is she in a group?
She's in a couple of groups, I think. And then at the end, you have to understand, this band is 250 kids. It's huge. And so at the end, they all line up around the auditorium and they play their big, their big feature song that they played at all the football games and band competitions. And it gets so loud in there, and it's incredible. It's just a neat show. Yeah.
It's the last time you get to hear that.
I know.
So,
well, you could probably go anyway, right?
Well, I could probably go next year, but it's just when she's in college. But it's just
not the same.
Not the same.
Will she? Do you think she'll be in band in college?
She wants to be.
Oh, good. She will. I have no doubt.
Yeah. So we're just waiting to hear from FSU, and they don't tell us until January. So.
The wait is so hard.
It's bad. She's been accepted to a couple, which is good. She's got backup schools, but
that's helpful. Once you get that first accept, then it's kind of it's not quite as drama.
Right. So she's got she's got her backup schools, and then she hasn't applied to any out-of-state schools yet, so we'll see if she can do that. So
no, she has a few options. Well, she's a smart cookie. She'll get where I'm sure she'll have no trouble wherever she sends.
I hope. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope people come.
Oh, well, it's still a minute early.
Have an open house. It might be an intimate open house. It's always a little, iffy having things around the holidays. It's like hit or miss. Some people are in the mood to do stuff, and then some people are not. So we'll just see what happens.
Well, Debbie will be here because she agreed to be interviewed.
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited to hear what you have to say, Judy. That'll be interesting too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, things get kind of I know my attendance has been down. And then next week we're going to do a little, we're not having a meeting. We're having a meeting, but we're just doing a white elephant exchange.
Oh, nice.
And just kind of a Christmas party during a holiday party during our, meeting time. So that'll be fun. But, I am getting calls of people who are getting ready to figure out what they want to do for networking in 2019.
Cool.
I told you knew she'd be here because
Debbie's here.
The interview, you promised to do the interview, so we're wondering who else is going to be here. I said, well, I know Debbie will be here.
I invited so many people.
I did too.
I just don't know. I love your hair, Judy. It's a little shorter.
Yeah.
Really cute.
I go to the Aveda Institute where they train people. You just never know.
That's very courageous of you.
Yes.
Well, it'll grow back if it's too short. It's easy hair. It doesn't have to be exactly styled because of the curl to it.
Yeah.
So it's why not?
It's like right on the edge.
Sometimes it's a lot shorter than you run out of hair when you're washing it, and it's like,
You know what when I went from down here to the super, super short, it was like I'd start to shampoo and it's like, wait a minute.
My granddaughter looked at me. She was over here the day after it happened. She said, "Did you cut your hair?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think of it?" She didn't say. I said, "You think it's a little too short?" And she goes, "Maybe a little." She said,
I think it's
she was
adorable.
trying to be good about her reaction, but it was too short for her. You could tell.
Oh, cute. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning.
Good to
How's
see
everybody?
Good.
On this dark and dreary day.
Yeah, it's starting to rain a little.
Is it? We're supposed to get a bunch of storms, aren't we?
Yeah, a bunch of storms.
Yeah.
I got the doors open. The cats are loving it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
We haven't had time to do that yet.
It's so gray and foggy here.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it's gross.
I had talking to a client in Birmingham the other day. He said we had a weather phenomenon that I've never heard of it before. It was frozen fog.
What?
What's that?
I've never heard
Evidently, the fog came in and it got to below freezing and froze the fog. I've never heard of it before. He said he had never either.
So how does that, like, it can't stay frozen and in the air, so does it, like,
Drop?
what does that mean?
I don't. It was like a whiteout, I guess.
No, maybe that's what.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That's wild.
Things we don't have to worry about in Florida.
It's right.
So far.
If you guys want to go ahead and
So far.
the chat box duties.
Forget about that.
Is Connie coming? Mary Beth?
Okay, call them all in.
Yeah.
Somebody can telepathically send a message to everyone. That'd be great.
There she is.
Hi, Connie.
Faye, I know Hannah's not coming because she has a realtor looking at her house right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
That would be awkward to try to do that in the middle.
Yeah, so she and Brandy leave when the realtor arrives. So I know she won't be here. And Sharon this is her off week, so she won't be here.
Right.
I'm not sure about Judy Fritz because she was messaging me yesterday asking me what seats to keep an eye out for. So not sure about her. And Faye is usually here. I don't know. But we don't have any guests, which makes me sad.
I know. I had invited 3 or 4 people.
I invited one that
Personally.
I invited one that I keep inviting, and she keeps saying she wants to do it, and she'd be a really good addition. And I don't know.
What does she do?
She's a reflexologist, which does not work well virtually, but she also does essential oils, and she would just be a really good fit with the group.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Our
Hey, Krista.
numerologist for the
Somebody's coming in with a voice.
Yeah, that's my
Chris-
computer.
it's
Do I need to
Krista's.
move my the lid of my camera back at all?
Your camera's not on, Krista.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that in a second.
Okay. Krista has a sight impairment, so she has prompts on her computer to help her.
Oh, okay.
That's what that noise
That's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
That's why she always asks, "How's my face look?" We're like, "Move the camera, girl." There she is. Perfect.
Remember,
Don't move a
Krista?
thing, Krista.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I'm glad to see you. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you want to go ahead, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and open up your chat box, type your first and last name in there, as well as your email address. And I know we don't have a lot of people, but we're going to go ahead and have an open house anyway, because this is recorded. So we can go ahead and share the recording link when it's done with anybody who you invited who couldn't make it. We certainly don't have to be here to join Virtual Networkers, and also to enjoy the incentives that we have. And we're still going to do the raffles, ladies, because that's all. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a car. You get a car. You get a car. So we'll go ahead and get started with our elevator speeches, and then we will move into the open house festivities. So I'm going to open up Brady Bunch here to see who gets to go first, and it's Judy Kane.
Okay, so I'm Judy Kane, and my business is Aligned Consciousness. And I help people rewrite subconscious, self-limiting beliefs using a process called Psych-K. People come to me for three main reasons: either the big emotions like phobias, trauma, anxiety, grief, or they come for physical symptoms of stress, because it's beliefs that cause the stress. So if you can change the beliefs, the symptoms will go away. And they also come for goals they're just not hitting. They know how to do stuff, they want to get stuff done, and it just didn't happen. So that could be subconscious self-sabotage, there that you need to change toward the conscious goals. Judy Kane, Aligned Consciousness.
We are glad you're here, Judy. Thank you so much. I'm next in the Brady Bunch here. So I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the founder of the Celestial Circle and also the president for Chapter 600 Virtual Networkers. And thank you all for being here today. In the Celestial Circle, I help female entrepreneurs really gain a lot of marketing traction, gain visibility, and help change their mindset. And it's an honor to serve many of you who are in the Celestial Circle with me. So thank you so much. And I'm going to welcome Mary Beth as she gets signed in, and then toss it over to Laura.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Shipman. I'm a social media manager and also the founder of Keep It Local. Right now I am building like the coaching and training section of my business, and I also do management as well. So I've got a lot of projects I've been working on. I have a couple of live courses that are coming to the Florida area or the Tampa Bay area. So if you're in Tampa Bay, look for those. And then I've got some ebooks and some digital stuff coming out too. So I've just been busy.
Yay!
Really?
Good for you. We've missed seeing you. I'm glad you could come by today. Thank you so much.
It's good to be here.
Connie Jo, you're next.
Hi, I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions, and I do financial coaching and bookkeeping. So I take bookkeeping tasks off your to-do list, and then I help you find ways to save money in your business.
Yay! We're glad you're here.
And I am an experienced Facebook Liver.
Thanks to.
Oh, let's see. There's some circle thing.
Circle of people.
And there's stars or something. Planets.
That's an alignment for sure. Thank you for being here, and thanks for the plug. Margaret, you're next.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am in dark and dreary Dunedin, Florida today. Storms are rolling in, and I have to drive to Tampa.
Oh.
In the meantime, I help people make positive change in their lives, and I do that as a coach, do career transition coaching, life coaching, creating that life design that you want. Also, I do retirement coaching, helping people create a real plan, not just a financial plan, for what they're going to do when they quit that job. And so through all of that, I've become a LinkedIn expert and public speaker with my books. I always point in the wrong direction. Anyway, the book is The Chatter That Matters, and I speak on gratitude as well. So thank you, Margaret Martin at margaretmartin.com. Experience Facebook Liver as well.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Good deal.
Working on all of you. Debbie Keevan.
Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Keevan, and I am in foggy Columbia, Maryland, and I actually help visionary and change-making entrepreneurs really tap into their stories and use them to attract their ideal clients like magnets. I do it with their blogs, their books, and their web copy.
Yes, we are so glad you're here. Thank you. Who's next? Krista.
Right. Hi, I'm Krista Janik, Wise Words That Matter. So it's happening on Monday. Get noticed now. Increase visibility online and in the media. That's my free interactive webinar that's happening Monday morning, a little bit later than this, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. You can go to the link that I posted in the chat there if you wanted to brainstorm ideas, join an interactive workshop for people who are struggling to connect with their ideal clients or customers. A lot of times I talk to experts who have so much to share with the world, and yet they're struggling to relate to their customers, to their audience. a lot of companies make this big mistake of talking about how great they are and not necessarily talking about their services from the perspective of their customers. So I guide people through overwhelming challenges of getting noticed, finding their voice, rebranding, whatever it is they need to do, because I'm a copywriter and a PR professional. Krista Janik, Wise Words That Matter.
Thank you, Krista. We're so glad you're here.
And am I still good with the camera?
Yeah, you did great. And I'm looking at your hair. It's still cute. I love it short. It looks good. Mary Beth, last.
Oh, you like my hair? Oh, thank you. I didn't know what you meant. Thanks. Yeah, I just got a cut.
It's cute. I like it.
Thank you.
Mary Beth, always adorable.
Thank you. I just feel short, but I like adorable. I had trouble logging in this morning, but it's me.
It's one of those mornings, huh?
It is. So I'm still an animal communicator. I get to hear all sorts of stories when I go networking. That is not what I do, but that's what happens sometimes. I help people connect to their animals and find out how they're doing. And sometimes we ask them to change behaviors. Sometimes we ask, how are you feeling? Or I even help people tell their animals, like if there's going to be some kind of medical intervention, like here's what's going to happen, here's how long it's going to take, don't worry, you're either staying overnight, you're going home. I let animals know when the people go out on vacation, how long they're going to be gone. I check in with them, not physically. I just check in with them, say, 3 more sunrises till Debbie comes home. And so I do all sorts of things, for people. And my company is sacredgrove.com, and I'm in Alexandria. And Debbie, when you were saying it's foggy, I had to look out because I'm a little south of you. And it's not foggy, but it's overcast. So,
you guys, are you getting snow? Are you forecasted for snow? No.
We're forecasted for 3 inches of rain and more flooding.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, no snow.
No. Well, I'm sorry.
Me too. Thank you.
If Hannah was here, she'd send us some, I'm sure. Well, we'll go ahead and just keep the party started. We're going to go now and talk a bit about virtual networkers. I know all of you are here members or have visited us before, but for anybody catching the replay, I want to just explain how this concept works, because for some people it's a bit different. A lot of folks are, of course, used to in-person networking, where you go to the local restaurant or the country club or a place of business and you network with others in person, which is a phenomenal way to grow your business and to get referrals. And please do that as you can. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area, check out, we have lots of Keep It Local chapters. That's under Laura's tutelage. And, let us know if you have any questions about that. But we can also network virtually, which is what we're doing today. And virtual networking, what it's lovely about virtual networking is it has many benefits. One of which is you don't have to get in your car, which I imagine for people who live up north this time of year would be quite attractive because you don't have to worry about what the weather's doing outside. And also for those people who live in a metropolitan area like Mary Beth and you're in DC, you don't have to worry about commute. You just plop yourself down in front of your camera and off you go. So there's that. There's also, because you're home, you don't have to buy breakfast or lunch or whatever meals in front of you. I know I don't mind eating out, but sometimes it can get expensive after a while, and then healthy food choices sometimes are hard depending on where you're eating. So you bring your own coffee, you bring your own bagel or not, and enjoy that. And there's also, because there's no commute, there's no fuel costs, there's no wear and tear in your car. And one of my favorite benefits in the whole wide world is you have no idea what's going on below my waist. I could be in shorts, I could be in flip-flops. Well, nobody knows what's going on, but you don't, it's for those of us who we work from home, so sometimes getting all dolled up is not what we want to do, and that's okay because we're all fellow work from home employee or entrepreneurs. And so, not that you have to be casual, but it is what it is. We all get it. It's a different culture when you work from home, right? And but one thing for sure that I want to, and we'll talk a little bit about later, is that virtual networking works. It is something that it was an experiment I wanted to run. I contacted Laura about this time last year, I believe, or maybe a little after Christmas. And I said, hey, what do you think of this idea? And Laura's always so supportive of, she's so innovative. And she said, yes, let's do it. And so we started our chapters, this chapter in early 2018. It feels like a long time ago. And I'm just so proud of how this chapter has grown. We have 10 members. We have another chapter, another Virtual Networkers chapter also, which meets Mondays at noon, and that's facilitated by Jennifer Flynn. And we go to each other's chapters and we visit, so we get to meet those folks as well. And sometimes they come here, which is lovely as well. And we are giving each other referrals. And we're going to talk about that with Debbie and with Judy a little later. But this is a lovely group because you have a group of friends. You're gathered with people who understand virtual businesses and what that means, and the nuances of that. And you get great education because we always have fantastic speakers. I have learned so much this year from our guest speakers, just a whole gamut. And just even last week, completely blown away by a member of my own family who just astounded us with a phenomenal presentation that I learned so much from. And it's just really cool to have the education. We do virtual coffee dates as well because we can't often drive to see each other. So we will do virtual coffee dates during our meetings. And then we also have masterminds when we just brainstorm different ideas. But above and beyond all that, we're giving each other business, which is really what networking is all about. We are referring business to each other. We're talking about each other in our own other networking groups. And raise your hand if you've gotten business from virtual networkers. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. So we're constantly, looking for client leads for each other. And we're going to do even more of that next year and really get that honed down so that all of us can enjoy the perks of membership. So I'm going to just do a quick slide share, and bear with me a second because I probably don't have the slide up, but that's all right. I'm going to look at yourself for just a second. And I'm just going to keep this in PowerPoint mode. So these are can you see the current seats? Okay, thank you. So here's who we have so far in our chapter. Some folks aren't here today, but they're here in spirit. We have Hanna Broter. Hanna is a graphic designer. She currently lives in Sweden, but she's about to move back to Norway. And we said hello to her. There's me. I'm a marketing coach. We have Mary Beth, who's here today, our animal communicator. Sharon Edwards is our newest member. She is an expert at ink cartridges and toner, and I know a lot of us have already ordered from her. She does amazing work in the community. So every time you purchase from her, she's giving, I forget the percentage, but she gives a percentage back to the community, which is amazing. Judy Fritz, not here, but she's here in spirit. She is it says administrative, but what that really means is virtual assistant. She runs a virtual assistant firm. Judy Kane, also kind of a weird group name, Energy Psychology. Sounds so cool. It is cool, but as she mentioned, she does Psych. Debbie's here, our writer/editor extraordinaire. Margaret, life coach among many talents. That's just one title. Connie Jo, our bookkeeper. And Faye, who's not here with us today, but Faye is, her category is boutique. She creates capes for people going through infusion therapy so that they can keep warm in that hospital setting. So that's who we have right now. And then we have many open seats. We have a goal to have 18 total members in this chapter. And this was a brainstorm that we all did back in October when we did a meeting with just us. And we are looking for anybody. This is a list. It certainly is not comprehensive, but health coach, parenting coach, relationship coach, someone who coaches on public speaking, a personal trainer who works virtually, a web developer, designer, somebody who does the actual programming, social media manager, although we've adopted Laura, public relations expert, someone who's an expert in how to garner media relations, productivity expert, still need a travel planner, an actual accountant, because what Connie Jo does is different than accountant work, as well as a financial planner. Someone who sells business insurance, Then more on the woo-woo side, a hypnotist or hypnotherapist, a Reiki practitioner or other energy healer, Feng Shui expert, aromatherapist, herbalist, numerologist. We do have a numerologist visiting us in January as a speaker, so maybe we can entice her to join us. An astrologist, angel communicators, spiritual mediums, psychics, and then anybody else with any type of online boutique. Some people sell jewelry, some people sell their clothing. We just wouldn't have anybody selling capes, which I don't think there would ever be anybody else out there who does that. And also anybody who's in multi-level marketing as, selling, 31 or Scentsy certainly would be welcome here as well, because they do run a virtual business. So if you know anyone, or if you're in this category, or if you think of anybody who might be interested in this group or the other chapter who meets on Mondays, these are just an example of some of the spots we have that we'd love to fill with our group. So let me just stop the share. Any questions on that? Oh, pretty straightforward, right? So it's easy to join us. I will put, when I get done talking, I might flip it over to Laura. I'll put the link in the chat box, as well as some incentives that we have for joining us. So we have incentives to join us that expire on Sunday. So if you know someone who might be interested, communicate this to them. Feel free to send this replay link. I'll get it all to you this morning. I will put the information in the chat box, but just so you know, there's a special bit.ly link that takes you straight to chapter 600, which is this Friday morning chapter. And there's a promo code you can use, which is virtual10. That reduces the price by 10%. The annual membership is normally $175, so you'll save a little bit off that. In addition to the little financial incentive, Laura and I also are gifting you two fun gifts in addition to that. Hi, Jennifer. So we will be, I will be giving you access, 30 days access to the Celestial Circle, which is my membership. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you.
Hi.
And Laura will be doing I call a social media audit. Do you mind describing real quickly what that lovely gift that you do, Laura?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, because what we'll do is we'll go over your social media footprint, and we'll see, how your profiles are built out, see where we can maybe amplify that a little bit more so you're attracting the people you want to attract with your social media accounts. And a lot of people get hung up in the numbers, like how many people they have following them. What I really try and do is help you craft your footprint to attract the people you want in your business, because those are the people who are going to ultimately purchase from you and work with you. It's not really all the followers that you have, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you can ask me any questions that you have about social media during that time frame we have together. So, and I always have some sort of content that I give you anyways that'll help you with your social media before you leave. So
awesome. It's a generous gift. Thank you for offering that to our newer members. So that will all be given to you if you sign up for Virtual Networkers between now and Sunday, midnight, whatever time zone you're in. We have someone pop in. I just want to say hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Do you mind doing a quick elevator? I hate to put you on the spot when you just log in, but would you mind doing a quick introduction?
Judy Fritz, I guess, must have invited me during the middle of the night, so I just decided to be spontaneous and jump on. But yes, I do public relations for individuals and small businesses. Basically, I help to increase connectivity or connections, visibility, which ends up leading to increased credibility. I specialize in media relations, community outreach, and reputation management. And I'm in the Baltimore, Maryland area.
Ah, well, you're not the only one. We got
Hi.
in here, so I love that. That's awesome.
Great.
We're glad you're here, Jennifer. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind, Jennifer, just putting your first and last name and email in the chat box. That's how we take attendance in virtual.
Oh, okay, good. And I've never done this, so I will.
That's okay. We're all here with you. And just for everybody to know, I will be emailing everyone the replay link and the chat box transcript, so you can see everybody's email address. That will come to you this morning as well. So I'm going to now toss the baton over to. Actually, I'm not going to. I am following my own agenda that I just created for myself. I was so excited Laura's here, but I got to interview Debbie Keevan first. Debbie! So, everything, I could talk all freaking day about referrals and how great we are, blah, 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 but I want you to hear it from some people's mouths, so to speak. So Debbie has so graciously volunteered, although we can't hear you, Debbie. Are you muted? No.
No, I'm teasing you.
Oh, okay.
I have some ants in my pants this morning.
I guess so. You're feeling saucy. So Debbie, just real quick, I don't want to, grudge the point, but I would love for you to, Debbie's going on the naughty list.
How do you know I'm not already there, Mary Beth?
Well, you never know. Can you just share really quickly, because you've been with us since the beginning. You're, I think, member number 1, if I remember correctly. Thank you for joining us. What has been your experience with virtual networks? If you can give us a specific example of what you've enjoyed, what you've benefited from.
Yes, so let me talk more broadly, and then I'll go into specific examples. So one of the things that when I talk to people about our Virtual Networkers group, I tell them, like, you would never believe that you could get so close and develop such deep relationships with people that you have never met in person. But our group, I don't know if it's the way that you sort of structure it, Jill, or the kind of people that you attract, but every single person in this group is just absolutely lovely and warm and friendly. And it's like, some networking, like, you sign up to and you're like, I got to go to X, Y, or Z. But this one, I actually am excited to come on early Friday mornings. So I think that that's a really key piece of why this group is really special. And not only that, I mean, I work with, I'm going to scroll over. I work with you, Jill. I work with Connie Jo. I've worked with Judy. I work with Mary Beth. I have worked with Laura. So when you think about, I work with Hannah all the time. So when you think about, I work with Sharon. And it's because we get to develop these relationships. And some of them, I work with them, some of them work with me. But it's really about, like, I never would have met Judy Kane. And I'll give you an example. I said something to her that the way that she spoke about what she does, like, there's that one thing that's keeping you stuck. And I worked with her, and I think it was a half an hour that we worked together. And the thing that I was struggling with, I cannot get into that same feeling. And I just can't. And I try, because I'm sort of like testing the waters. Even when the situation that brings it up, it just doesn't happen anymore. So that's just really one very small example. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And I want to ask, because I know you and we've known each other for years. So you met, specifically through this group, you met Judy Kane.
Mm-hmm.
You met Laura.
I met
Hannah, kind of.
Definitely Hannah.
Yeah.
I never met her in the other. I met Margaret. Connie Jo, I knew even before you. So.
Long friendship.
Yeah, long friendship.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the people that Hannah, Sharon, Faye.
Sharon.
Actually, and I reached out to Faye because one of my former boss's daughters, who used to babysit my kids, she's 33. She was just diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, sorry.
And Faye was just lovely. I said, I want to send her something. And I knew Faye was the person to do that with. And I would have never known that something like that existed.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're such a wonderful addition to our group. We all love Debbie, don't we? Debbie earlier this year went on a hike/walk/ boo-boo of the Camino, which is a spiritual path in Europe. And we were all with her virtually and spiritually, and she did that. And we just love having you as a member of our group. So thank you for the warm testimonial. And we certainly would not be as enriched without you being here. So thank you.
No, I'm not going anywhere, so you're stuck with me.
Awesome. Let's do a raffle. Laura, do you have slides? If you don't, that's okay.
I do.
Okay, well, you're pulling the slides. I'm going to pull a name, and then I'm going to put the URL in the chat box.
Okay.
So the first gift we're going to give away is I'm going to pick on one of Margaret's because Margaret was so generous. She offered up 2 gifts today. So Margaret, which one should we give away first? I can't read your lips, sweetie. I'm sorry.
Let's do the gratitude journal.
Okay. I got to add Jennifer's name to the hat. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you saw in the chat box, but
Yeah,
Faye's
go ahead.
internet's
Say that.
out.
Go ahead, Connie Jo.
Faye's internet's out. That's why she's not here. And she said she's having withdrawals.
We miss you, Faye. Everybody wait for Faye. Bye, Faye. The winner of Margaret's journal is MB, which stands for Mary Beth.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, I was hoping for it. Thank you.
Oh, you
my God.
manifested it, you lucky girl. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to give
I'll
away.
ship it out to you this weekend.
Thank you.
I'm going to give away Judy's prize. Judy, explain real quickly what you're giving away.
Okay, so it's an hour session of Psych K. So whatever it is you want, see you, Debbie. Whatever it is that you would like to try to work on changing in your life, we'll go for that for an hour and see what kind of changes you can make.
Okay, here we go. Who's going to be the lucky winner of Judy's Psych K? Laura Shipman.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. Awesome.
All right,
Okay,
Laura,
I'm
on
excited.
that happy note, go ahead and do the honors, and I will be right back because I got a text from my son that doesn't make me happy. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's not good. I don't like when, hold on a second. I want to see if I can see your faces at the same time when I do this. Maybe not. All right. So I'll just get started. So Keep It Local. Gosh, it'll be 7 years, January 1st. I've kind of made a New Year's resolution to myself to get to know my local community because I had moved from one area. I moved from St. Petersburg, Florida up to Pasco County, and I didn't know anybody. And I was heavily networked online and in St. Pete, and I was very isolated because I work from home. So I thought I would just start a little networking group to see what would happen if I could meet anybody. And I didn't want to be a part of any of the networking groups that were already established, only because they were very expensive. And I also I was kind of learning a lot about my business and things like that. And I wanted like this element of education. And so that's how I crafted Keep It Local, so that we have, yes, you're going to get networking and everything out of it, but you are also going to learn something along the way that's going to help you with your business. So then fast forward to last year around this time, Jill reached out to me. She had been a member of Keep It Local in the in real life world. And she said, would you consider doing something virtually? And I've said yes, because I've come from the virtual world, and I thought, yes, let's give it a try. So we worked together, and we came up with the 2 chapters that you have today, and it's worked out really, really well. I need to change that because I guess this presentation's a year old, but we're 7 years old, and we have 15 chapters. 2 of them are virtual, and the other chapters are in the greater Tampa Bay area. So that would be the 4 counties being Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough. And I kind of told you why we did it. We wanted people to network, to grow their businesses, and then also get the education that they need to continue their business growth. And so why would you consider virtual networking? Well, I believe that people who work in a virtual world have different circumstances than regular businesses,
Hey,
especially
Laura,
yeah?
are you showing a presentation? Because we're not seeing it.
Oh, you know what?
Sorry to interrupt you in the middle of your
I'm
flow.
so glad you did that, because I'm like, why can't I see? Hold on, because I didn't share my screen.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason.
That's why? Hold on.
Well, you were very captivating without it, by the way. But
Was I? Okay, let me get back to where I was.
There you go.
And here we are. There we go.
Perfect.
So why virtual networking? We were talking about the set of circumstances that we have. And I think that we're a different breed, especially the people who, you know, work online a lot of the time. We, and this gives us a great outlet to kind of work with like-minded professionals. And I've got to tell you, from the experience that I've had with this virtual networking, these networking groups, is the connection, I feel, for some reason, happens so much faster. And I think it's because we do understand the virtual world. And when Jill asked how many people have worked with each other, I was amazed at how quickly that happens, because even after our first meeting, I think that people were already connecting and working with each other. And for some reason, that relationship journey is a lot quicker than it is in real life. And I don't know why that is, but I think we're more open to working with each other, and the trust factor, for some reason, we gain that faster on the virtual side. And wait, I gotta move my little bar down here because I can't see what that says. Oh, okay. Oh, I couldn't. What was that last point? Did you guys see that?
Create a community online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna, you know, well, actually, let me pull this up, because through the Facebook groups that we have on, through Keep It Local, we do create that local community in a virtual world. So we've got two ways that you can join Facebook groups through Keep It Local. One is our corporate page on Facebook, and it has its own group assigned to it. And you'll have, we've got like 90 people in there right now, something like that. And those are all the people who are in the surrounding areas that we operate in locally. So you get to connect with all of those people as often as you want to. And then each chapter has its own group attached to their chapter. So you guys can have offline conversations within your own Facebook group, which is great. And it's private, so you guys don't share that with anybody else. And if you want to offer specials to your members, you can post them in there. Another benefit of Keep It Local is we have a calendar of events that you could submit events to that's seen by everybody, not just Keep It Local members, but non-members as well. And I feel that this works really well for the virtual world, because a lot of you guys do webinars and online events and things like that have links that you can join. So you just submit that and we get that right up on the calendar for you. And then we also have a blog that you can submit a blog to me via email, and all it is really is text and a headshot, and I'll just, I'll take care of formatting the blog and everything into our website. Or like what Debbie Keevan has done for me is she's given me a list of blogs that I can pull from and just copy and paste right off of her website and put it into the Keep It Local blog. We also have a job board, so if you're hiring, you can advertise for, looking for employees and things like that. So you can just submit that to the job board. Okay, let me see. I've lost my mouse, but okay. So the well-rounded member, what we try and do is we look at different things that actually makes you successful in the Keep It Local space. And if you see the wheel on the right of your screen, if you could imagine there are 10 ticks from the center of the wheel going out, and you draw like a circle around those wheels, around those ticks, you want to create a well-balanced, even wheel so that your networking efforts can just roll. If you have a wobbly wheel, and so let's say attend regular meetings is the first one. Let's say you do that maybe 3 out of 10 times. You're going to, move that up just a little bit. The next one's going to be one-to-one with members. Let's say you do that like 10 out of 10 times. Your line's going to be all the way to the outer edge of the circle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And if the other one's visiting other chapters. So if you're like zig and zagging around this circle, your networking efforts are going to zig and zag as well. And they're not going to be, you're not going to get the return on your efforts if you're not doing all of these things consistently. So one-to-one meetings with members, you can do this sometimes. Jill, do you want to explain sometimes how you do that room thing? which is, I love that because it works really well, and it's a great way to use this time to do one-to-one meetings. Can you explain that really quickly?
Sure. So I use Zoom. Obviously, we're all on Zoom right now, and I have what's called Zoom Webinar, which allows me to put people into breakout rooms, all virtually. And so what we do during virtual coffee dates, which is an event we hold probably every 2 months or so, is I will break you up into these private rooms with another member. And you get about 15 minutes or so to chat with that person, do what you would do in person if you had a coffee date. But instead we're doing it virtually through Zoom. And then we reconvene, and then I mix you back up again with another person, and you get to do another coffee date. So just through Zoom technology, I can do that, and it's a lot of fun, and I think all of us have enjoyed that activity.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that again in 2019 for sure.
Cool. But besides doing that with Jill, and she does a great job at facilitating that, and you do learn a lot about the different people in the chapter. Scheduling these on your own, whether it's a Zoom conference or just even over the telephone, I think is really important, so you get to learn about what everybody does in the chapter, and then you can effectively refer them out. The other thing you want to try and do is visit other chapters. Now, I know that sounds silly because you're all over the country, but we have that other virtual chapter that you guys are more than welcome to pop in, and that's Mondays at noon Eastern time, 10 Mountain time. And for the Florida folks, and you're welcome to visit any of the chapters that we have in the Tampa Bay area, or any of the mixers that pop up. Utilize the social media that we've put out there for you. We have those groups. We have the corporate group that you can post about your business in there and connect with people. I really recommend that you do that. And then you've got the private group for your virtual networkers. Actually, you guys have a combined group, right?
Correct. All virtual networkers are together.
So that just kind of opens up your virtual world even more between Jen's group and Jill's group.
Yeah.
Take advantage of speaking opportunities. I know that Jen and Jill are really good about sharing the wealth of the people that they have in their chapters, and it opens you up to speaking to other people you may not have already met. And then sign up for speaking opportunities within this chapter. I'm amazed sometimes when I go to other chapters locally, and there's been people who have been with us for years who've never done a presentation just because they are afraid to speak in front of people. So they maybe need to see Judy Kane. But speaking in front of a crowd, not only does it tell people about your business, but it also helps you grow as a professional and helps you really hone in on your speaking skills. I know I was afraid of speaking in front of people. Now I love getting up in front of the stage. Invite your sphere of influence. I know that we were talking before we started, so many people have invited guests, and it's great to see Jennifer here. And actually, we're talking later on today at 11. She's going to do a podcast with me. So just things like that. I didn't expect to see her here. I didn't know how that circle all happened. But it's great. And it's just the magic of networking. So really invite your sphere of influence, because those people are going to help you build your networking efforts. So I think that's cool. And then use like we talked about, the calendar to promote your business. And we talked about also using the blogs so we can get your business out there as well, because that's seen by anybody who stumbles across the Keep It Local website. And then Jill talked about this a little bit when we started. I mean, it's just virtual networking so much easier than getting into the car and going somewhere and doing whatever I just love the virtual networking space because it is a lot more convenient. And I've got to tell you, other than what my little faux pas before without sharing my screen, it's really easy to share presentations and slides because you don't have to worry about having the correct cords with you, or a screen or a projector or things like that. So it's really easy to share all of those presentations that you guys worked so hard on. Plus, then you also get a copy of the meeting, which Jill is really, really diligent about sending out week to week. So those are some of the benefits. And do you have any questions for me about Keep It Local?
So we'll go ahead and open up the floor. If anybody has any questions or comments or just anything they want to add to Laura's presentation. Just a reminder to current members, you're not taking advantage of all your member benefits. That was a great reminder, especially as we look into the new year and new opportunities to gain our visibility, making sure we're taking advantage of the blog and our calendar and Facebook group and everything. And for those of us who live locally, Judy and Margaret and myself, I am sure I have done guest speaking at some of the other Keep It Local chapters. So that's another opportunity just to go and do a guest, because they're always looking for speakers.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that as well, that's just, a nice way to go and you be the speaker and then get to hang out at the meeting. So that's fun too.
Even if we had like a really tech savvy chapter president somewhere. So for example, there is the Dunedin group. Margaret, I don't know, where Dave Cusper's agency is?
Yes, it's actually 1 mile from maybe 3 blocks from my house.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, they have like this wonderful meeting room with these huge screen TVs. So potentially you could do like a Zoom presentation there and it would just look like this. So Robin Kiltz is the chapter president there. And it might be something you might want to reach out to Robin. And
certainly, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great venue.
Any of you could do that, really.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah. So, it would just matter you going in and just reaching out to those chapter presidents and ask if they have a way to broadcast for Wi-Fi. I think the Wi-Fi is the biggest piece. You want to make sure they have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then take it from there, or go visit. Or if you visit, come to Florida. Susan Rose came down.
Did she?
We weren't able to get her to a meeting, but we got to meet her in person at a restaurant, which was lovely. So anyway, you just never know, because Florida is such a great location to come visit. So now I'm going to, any other questions for Laura? Anything else? Go ahead, Margaret.
It's not a question, but it's just a reminder that I think is really cool compared to the other in-person meetings. Is fact, we do get the recording.
Yeah.
We do get the chat box copy. And sometimes when you've got a great speaker and you're taking notes and you may miss something because you're busy taking notes, you can go back and watch it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do have all of our meetings are in a playlist on my YouTube channel.
Oh.
Jill Celeste on YouTube.
Cool.
All the virtual networkers are all there. So if you're like, what was that? You can go, it's all there for you. It's open and you can share it. So if you saw a presentation that you think maybe a friend would be interested in, share it. The more the merrier.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just so you know, it's out there as well. Mary Beth?
I do have a question because, and this is just, I got to ask the question because I still do the real networking and get to watch people roll their eyes when they find out I'm an animal communicator. It's fascinating. But the question is, even blogs from an animal communicator, Laura, would be welcome, or is that too far out for the group of people?
No, I would do it, absolutely, because I think it's our job to open people up to everything that's out there, and I think it's a disservice to hide stuff from people. You know what I mean? Like, we need to share our business.
I forgot that was one of the perks, and yay!
And you write some great blog posts, and especially if you ever got one like how to manage your hand, like for those of us who work from home with our animals, that would be a great blog post.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm trying to tell you while you're on Zoom.
Yeah, it's barking at you and won't stop. Yes, that's happened several times.
Oh golly, I'm not sure I have the answer to that, but okay.
No, you don't answer.
They could if they took the UConnect class.
They could.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's right.
Thank you.
Mary Beth, have
Yes.
you done media relations? Have you been on, traditional media outlets? I'm just thinking that would
No.
be fascinating story. I
Oh.
didn't mean to delve in there, but
No,
I hope
that's
all
great.
of you are using haro.com, HARO.com. It's a free service helping a reporter out to do media relations opportunities.
Would you put that in the chat
Yes,
box?
I will. That's the best tip ever. It is. Let me tell you, for my job.
That's how I've gotten into, if those of you see my Ask Seen inbox, Fortune, Forbes, Entrepreneur, and some of the others. It was
Oh
through,
my gosh.
help a reporter out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just landed a client this week, Women's Health Magazine, which is one of the top magazines.
Wow.
Yeah, national publication. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Good
So
for you.
please, I always assume people just know, but I don't want to assume.
Never assume. Always a good nugget. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I'm going to switch it to, since somebody has any other, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box too, and we'll be watching that. But I want to just do a quick interview with Judy Kane, who is another person who offered. But before I do, I got to keep up with the raffles. Sorry, I keep forgetting the raffles. So we're going to give away a $20 Amazon gift card, compliments of me.
Oh, yay.
You got to promise to spend it on yourself, though. No Christmas shopping for others. Right? Is that a promise? Pinky swear?
Sure.
Okay. Debbie Keevan, happy shopping. It's like her Price is Right. Yay!
That is freaking awesome.
Good. Spend it on yourself, not the kids. Judy, thank you for agreeing to be our little interview subject today.
My pleasure.
I'm excited you raised your hand because here's what I know about Judy. Judy didn't know anyone when she stepped into this meeting for the first time, except for me, and we had only met once, and I was a speaker somewhere. And so she really, really was Brent's make-and-do to a lot of faces. And now we all love her, and we're so glad we know you. So Judy, talk about, real quick, what Virtual Networkers has done for you in your business.
Okay. I thought you said for Christmas, and you said my business, right?
Or Christmas.
Yeah. I hadn't expected that one. Okay. Yeah, sure. So I can't remember if I joined in June or July, but it was somewhere around there. And I went back and looked at the numbers, and the number of clients I've had from July through November is 50% higher than the number of clients I had for January through June.
Wow.
And in spite of the fact that I do what some people think is woo-woo, I'm really a numbers and process person. So I try to, so, I mean, there's some solid difference that I've seen, but it's just been, I take advantage of the one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones with, the people in the group. I'll contact speakers and do one-on-ones, either so that they can understand what I do better, or so that I can, maybe take advantage of some of the things that they offer. So I've gotten referrals from many of you, and some of them have been substantial referrals that have led to really good relationships. I try to go to the Monday ones as often as possible. So I'm active in both of the virtual networking groups, and I love it. I'm in other networking groups here locally where you go in person, and those have been good. It's not like this is the only place I meet people, but this is definitely one that has worked very well for me.
That's awesome. And what I love about your story is that you're maximizing everything that's been given to you. So you go visit the other chapter when you can. You take the transcript from each meeting and you connect with everybody, so speakers or other guests or members, and you do those one-on-ones, which is why I give you the transcript. So I'm so glad somebody's doing it. Yay! And also just showing up and connecting with everybody else. It's amazing. So what lesson for all of us who do networking, follow Judy Kane's protocol here, because that's so critical. That's how you get success. And I'm so honored that we are part of your growth for the last half of this year.
I'm delighted too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else you want to add, or is that I think it's a great story, but if you want to add anything else?
Well, just, the people, the friendships I've made have been really, important. There are several of you here that I communicate with regularly. And it's just nice, it's, I like all of y'all.
Yeah. We like you too. We're glad you're here. We're so glad. I'm so glad we got to meet in person. And then we had lunch with Margaret, which was a lot of fun. And we'll have to do another one, and maybe have Laura can come join us. Yeah, that'd be fun. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for those kind words. So again, if you want to think about joining, again, the link is in the chat box. I'll be emailing it to you as well. Just make sure if you want to join, try to join before Sunday so you can enjoy a little cost savings and get the incentives. Again, just in case, I'm not sure, Jennifer, if you were here when we did the incentives, so let me just rattle them off again. You get 10% off your annual membership. Our annual membership's $175 for the year.
Okay.
So you get 10% off that. I'll make sure to put all this again in the email for you. And then also Laura and I have signing bonuses, so to speak. I will grant you 30 days access to my Celestial Circle, which is a wonderful group of entrepreneurs. We're doing marketing together. And then Laura's going to do a real deep dive social media audit and coaching call with you. So those are some great incentives as well. So something to think about before the year ends. And I just want to open up the floor for any questions, anything, any questions you have about our group or anything like that. Feel free to unmute yourself. If not, we'll go on to announcements. We all good?
I have a quick question. I'll be quick.
Absolutely.
I have been working as an entrepreneur for just over 1 year. I've been doing media relations for about 25. But what are some tips, even just, one bit of advice? I'm struggling with getting paid. So that is something I need to work on. I have a lot of people that say, no problem. And then I'll literally get them 4 or 5 media placements. And then they say, I'm so sorry. So that has been
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
a huge struggle. So obviously it's something that I'm allowing to happen. So I'm going to work through with business and my business coach too on, setting boundaries. I think that's the biggest thing. So what is some advice?
Well, Krista has her hand up virtually. So I'm going to give her this mic.
I do invoices and I get deposits in advance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Krista's got a similar business, not a little bit different, a little bit like.
Yeah, I do more copywriting than PR. I do some PR, and I also teach some PR in my webinar, just so that way people have some understanding of what it's like to pitch a journalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Margaret, go ahead real quick.
Real quick, I too get a deposit, but it's the majority of the money. It's 3/4 of the money, so that if I don't get the rest of it, it's not such a thing.
Okay. I love it. This is great. This is so helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Debbie, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think in the state of Maryland, by law, we're allowed to collect 1/3 up front.
Okay.
So at a minimum, I collect 1/3 up front and then the rest upon the finish. But I don't send the last document or do the last bit until the invoice is paid, because I've had it. And a lot of it, I think, for me, it was mindset.
Yeah.
I hated to talk about money. And so there's that's a whole mindset thing. And so
that's Judy Kane's area.
I was gonna say, that's Judy Kane.
Yeah, it's awkward, but I'm getting through it because I think you get screwed over enough, and it's 2 times now. I'm like, I'm not letting the third happen. Yeah. So this is just a good teachable moment, but I'm done.
We learn from our mistakes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All of us probably have a invoice story from early.
I know Laura and I had talked about that too.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad that it was a great question, and
thank you.
That's the example of a question that we would do in our business mastermind meeting, which we do about once every 2 months. Everybody brings a question. This is a hat I use all the time. I put everybody's name in a hat and I pull and I say, okay, blah, blah, blah. We know what's your question, and we all brainstorm. It's so valuable.
Great.
That was a great question, Jennifer. Okay. I'm going to do another raffle because I still have Debbie Keevan and Hannah, and then another one from Margaret. So we'll do those, right? Yeah. So first we'll do Debbie. Real quick, tell everybody what your prize is.
Yeah. So Hannah and I are going to join forces, and we're going to do a complete website audit. And so I'll look at the words and the structure, and then Hannah will look at the branding. And we're just going to give you this incredible experience and report, so you know where you can actually amp up your website, which acts as an attractor online.
It sure does.
That's fantastic.
Well, you're going to chuckle. Who got this? CJM. Who's that? Connie Jo Miller.
Connie Jo.
I laugh when you two get connected. I think it's cosmic. All right, next we're going to give away Margaret's last prize. Margaret, will you explain the LinkedIn prize?
Well, I will, whoever wins, I will review your LinkedIn profile and give you some suggestions of what you can do to make it more visible and viable.
Awesome. Well, I pulled your own name, Margaret, so we'll put that.
Maybe that goes to Debbie and Hannah instead.
All right. Jennifer is the lucky winner of that prize. Good. Yay! That's a good connection for you two anyway. That's awesome. All right. So I know we were at 9 o'clock, but can anybody hang for like another 5 minutes and we'll just do announcements? Just for Krista knows. For Jennifer's sake, we always end a meeting with announcements. That is our opportunity to share whatever it is we're promoting, a referral that we're asking for, a shout out, just a way. And you can use the chat box to type in any web addresses or email addresses or anything that we can do to help support you. So I'm going to start at the bottom this time. That's Debbie Keevan.
Oh, well, I just want to say that it's been such an awesome year. I can't believe this is our last meeting of the year. It totally blows me away. So 2 things. One is I can't wait to see everyone who's coming to the blog planning retreat in an hour. So yay, we'll be together having some fun, kicking butt for 2019. And then make sure to come on January 4th because I happen to know what's coming from the numerologist who's visiting, and it will knock your socks off. And Connie Jo Miller was the lucky recipient of the first, so she's going to get an actual mini experience and so the numerologist does everything with your business. So how your numbers can help you amplify your business results. She's amazing.
I can't wait. That is Friday, January 4th is when we're reconvening, and I can't wait. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. Margaret, you're next.
Well, I have no specific announcement. I've been thrilled to be part of the group and getting to know people. I've done some one-on-one coffees with people, and it's great. So I wish everyone a happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Margaret. Krista, do you have any announcements? I know you got a webinar. Oh, would we lose you, Krista? We'll come back to you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's hard for me to. Okay. So Get Noticed Now is my webinar, wisewords.matter.com/webinar. I'm also doing a new program going to be called the Copy Connections Workshop. And that's going to be a paid offering as opposed to this webinar that's free. So I'm definitely looking for people to contact me if they're interested in taking this to the next level and actually working on your customized copy together and looking for creating keywords and phrases that will help your particular business getting it done.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Krista.
Thank you.
Jennifer, any announcements today?
No, I'm really thrilled to be here. Everything that happens with Judy and my business coach, Nettie, it's just this.
Oh, we know Nettie.
Yeah.
We know Nettie.
I just keep meeting amazing people. I feel like I'm just getting blessings and gifts dropped in my lap that this group that I'm literally being pulled toward, I can't even tell you. I'm still amazed. So thank you all so much for just being so welcoming this morning and having a random person show up. Although Laura, I know you and I get to talk to you soon as well. But
tell Nettie that all of us under love. A lot of us know Nettie.
She's incredible person.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're working with her too. We're glad you're here. Come back and visit anytime. Come
you.
Join us.
Yes, I can't wait to get your email.
Okay, awesome. We'll send
Thank
that
you.
this one to you.
Thank you.
Mary Beth.
Okay, yeah. Yay, say hi to Nettie from me. Yeah, definitely. I'm down in Alexandria, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. I just, if you know anybody who's going out of town over the holidays and they are concerned about how their animals are doing, it seems like cat people are more, I don't know why, but I've done more work with cat people, but I helped somebody in the past, her cats have actually lost weight when they've gone out of town. And she worked with me a couple weeks ago, and her pet sitter said that the cats they were the happiest they'd ever been. And I do go in and communicate with them and say, you have permission to have a holiday and a good time while your people are gone, and they're coming back. So if you know anybody that might be interested in doing that, I'll give a link. It's called Postcards from Your Pet.
Cute.
I will put the link in here.
Awesome, Mary Beth. Thank you so much. Sure. Connie Jo?
I'm doing the as part of the Celestial. I'm rewinding. As part of the Celestial Circle, I'm doing a Facebook Live challenge, and I'd love for anyone here to check out my videos and comment on anything if I'm talking funny or look funny or I love what you're saying. I welcome any and all comments. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I urge anyone here that's not in the Celestial Circle to check it out because it's phenomenal.
Oh,
Jill runs it, so of course it's phenomenal.
Thank you. Feel free to put the link to your Facebook page so people can find your videos. Yeah. Laura, I know you got a lot going on.
I have a lot going on. No, just what I mentioned earlier, a couple of live events coming up, a couple of ebooks coming out all in 2019 to help you guys, maximize what you're doing for your businesses. So stay tuned.
I can't wait.
Yay.
Excited. Judy.
Yes. All right. So I've got a PsychK workshop coming up in January 19th through 21st. For anybody who wants to be in Tarpon Springs and learn how to do PsychK with themselves and others. And my standing, ask is I always like talking with other coaches. I don't do coaching. All I do is beliefs. So getting partnerships with coaches so that I can help their clients remove the blocks so that they can be successful with the coaching program is my goal. So any coach connections that you've got, I would appreciate.
Awesome. We're so glad. And I'll finish up with a couple spiels, and then we'll conclude. Thank you for hanging out with us for a few minutes extra. From my business, I launched a new course called Celestial Changemakers. It's a course for female entrepreneurs who are here to change the world and want to learn how to use their marketing, not only to make themselves more visible for their business, but also for the causes that are important to them. There's a early bird price right now that expires on Sunday. I put the web address to the course in the chat box. If you're interested in learning more, we'd be delighted to have you. I do have some wonderful folks already gathered. And especially if you like books, this is your course. Because we're going to do a lot of reading. And then for the virtual networker side, as I mentioned, I'll be sending this replay out, the chat box transcript, all the details about how to join send it out this morning. For those of you who invited people who didn't attend, please forward that email to them. Let them know, that they can join, and but let them know that we're not coming back till January 4th, because that would be terrible. They're waiting around like, I joined this group and nobody's here. So if you could do that, that would be great. Let's invite more folks in. And that's it for that. Laura, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Yeah, well, it's good to see everybody.
Good to see everybody. I hope everyone, if you celebrate, have a wonderful Christmas, a happy New Year. Looking forward to continuing this journey with you in January. Use the Facebook group in between now. Feel free to drop links, say hello, and I'll see you all on the flip side.
Thank you all. Lovely to spend the morning with you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Laura. See you soon.
See you soon.
Next year.
Next year.